Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today, we're diving into a fascinating book that delves into the intricacies of human interactions, Games People Play by Eric Berne. This book, which has become a classic in the field of psychology, introduces us to the concept of transactional analysis and explores the subtle, often subconscious, games that people play in their relationships. To begin, Eric Berne was a Canadian-born psychiatrist who developed transactional analysis, a revolutionary approach to understanding social interactions. This approach is built on the idea that our communication and behaviors can be dissected into transactions or units of social interaction. At its core, transactional analysis seeks to decipher these transactions to better understand and improve the dynamics between individuals. One of the foundational elements of transactional analysis is the division of the human psyche into three distinct states: the parent, the adult, and the child. Each of these states represents a different way of interacting with the world. The parent state encompasses the attitudes and behaviors copied from authority figures, primarily one's parents. The adult state is rational, focused on data and logic, while the child state reflects the emotions and behaviors of childhood. Berne posits that each person moves between these states in their interactions, and understanding these shifts is key to grasping the underlying patterns in communication. In Games People Play, Berne further elaborates on this framework by introducing the concept of psychological games. These are repetitive patterns of behavior that people engage in to satisfy hidden psychological needs. Unlike straightforward interactions, games often have ulterior motives and can lead to negative outcomes if not recognized and addressed. Berne categorizes these games into various types, each with its unique structure and purpose, from "why don't you, yes but," to "see what you made me do." This book is more than just a manual on human behavior, it's a lens through which we can view the everyday transactions that shape our relationships. By becoming aware of these games and the roles we play in them, we gain the power to change destructive patterns and foster healthier, more authentic connections. In this first part, we've laid the groundwork for understanding the basic principles of transactional analysis and the notion of psychological games. In the next segment, we will delve deeper into the specific games Berne outlines, exploring their mechanics and the psychological needs they fulfill. Exploring the structure and function of psychological games. Continuing from where we left off, let's delve deeper into the specific games that Eric Berne outlines in Games People Play. These games are not merely random behaviors but structured and predictable patterns that serve particular psychological functions. Berne meticulously analyzes these interactions to reveal the underlying motives and outcomes. Each game has a discernible structure comprising three elements: the con, the initial bait or invitation, the gimmick, the vulnerable part of the other person that takes the bait, and the payoff, the emotional or psychological reward for the person initiating the game. Understanding these components helps us recognize when a game is being played and what each participant stands to gain. One of the most commonly cited games is, "Why don't you, yes but." This game typically occurs in a problem-solving scenario where one person presents a dilemma, inviting suggestions from others. However, no matter what solution is offered, the initiator responds with, "yes, but," followed by a reason why the suggestion won't work. The con here is the request for help, the gimmick is the genuine desire of others to assist, and the payoff is the initiator's reinforcement of their belief that their problem is unsolvable, thus receiving attention and sympathy. Another game, "See What You Made Me Do," involves the initiator setting up a situation where they are likely to fail or make a mistake, which then allows them to blame someone else for the outcome. The con is the action that leads to failure, the gimmick is the other person's involvement, and the payoff is the avoidance of personal responsibility and the gaining of a sense of victimhood or moral superiority. Berne categorizes these games into various types, including life games, marital games, party games, sexual games, and underworld games, each reflecting the different contexts in which they occur. For example, life games like "Now I've Got You, You Son of a Bitch," are played in broader life settings and often have significant consequences for the individual's personal or professional life. Each game also serves to fulfill certain psychological needs, which Berne refers to as strokes. In transactional analysis, a stroke is a unit of recognition, attention, or validation that individuals seek from their interactions with others. Games are often a means of obtaining these strokes, albeit in a convoluted or unhealthy manner. Moreover, Berne emphasizes that while games can be destructive, they are not always so. Some games can be relatively harmless, providing a form of social lubrication or a way to maintain relationships. However, it is the more manipulative and harmful games that Berne aims to expose and address. In this section, we've explored the structure of psychological games, their functions, and the roles they play in fulfilling psychological needs. In the next part, we will continue to examine specific games and how they manifest in different aspects of life. Common psychological games in various contexts. As we continue our exploration of games people play, we now turn our attention to specific games and their manifestations in different areas of life, such as personal relationships, professional settings, and social interactions. Berne's keen insights into these games reveal how deeply ingrained these patterns can be, influencing behavior and dynamics in subtle yet profound ways. One of the life games that Berne discusses is, If It Weren't For You. This game involves one person attributing their lack of success or failure to another person or external circumstances. For instance, a spouse might say, "If it weren't for you, I could have had a better career." The con is the implication of being held back, the gimmick is the perceived dominance or control of the other person, and the payoff is the avoidance of taking personal responsibility for one's choices or situation. In the realm of marital games, Frigid Woman is a game where the wife withholds affection or intimacy, often as a means of control or as a response to feelings of inadequacy or resentment. The con is the withholding behavior, the gimmick is the husband's frustration or attempts to resolve the issue, and the payoff is the validation of the wife's belief that she is in control or that her husband is inadequate. Party games like Ain't It Awful occur in social gatherings where individuals bond over shared complaints or grievances about life, work, or other people. The con is the invitation to gripe, the gimmick is the other participant's eagerness to join in, and the payoff is the mutual reinforcement of negative views and the temporary camaraderie formed through shared dissatisfaction. In sexual games, Rapo is a controversial game that Berne describes as a flirtation that leads to an accusation of improper behavior. The con is the initial flirtation, the gimmick is the other person's response or participation, and the payoff is the sense of power or moral superiority gained by the initiator when they accuse the other of crossing boundaries. In underworld games, which take place in more illicit or criminal environments, Cops and Robbers is a common game where criminals justify their actions by blaming law enforcement for being oppressive or corrupt. The con is the criminal activity, the gimmick is the reaction of law enforcement, and the payoff is the justification or rationalization of the criminal behavior. Berne's categorization and analysis of these games serve to highlight the often unconscious strategies individuals use to navigate their social world. By naming and understanding these games, individuals can begin to recognize when they are being played and take steps to break out of these patterns. In this part, we've discussed various common games and their implications across different areas of life. In the next segment, we'll delve into the consequences of these games on relationships and personal growth and how Berne suggests we can move beyond them. The impact of games on relationships and personal growth. Building upon our understanding of the various psychological games outlined by Eric Berne, we now turn our focus to the impact these games have on relationships and personal development. The repetitive nature of these games can profoundly influence how individuals relate to one another, often leading to unhealthy patterns and stunted growth. In interpersonal relationships, games can create a cycle of misunderstanding and manipulation. For example, in a game like Kick Me, the person sets themselves up to be reprimanded or punished, subconsciously inviting others to criticize or belittle them. The con is the behavior that invites criticism, the gimmick is the other person's response to this behavior, and the payoff is the validation of the initiator's belief that they deserve to be treated poorly. Over time, such games erode trust and intimacy, as both parties become trapped in roles that limit genuine interaction. The cumulative effect of these games is not just interpersonal but intrapersonal. Engaging in games often serves as a defense mechanism against confronting deeper issues, such as feelings of inadequacy, fear of rejection, or unresolved childhood conflicts. By playing games, individuals can avoid facing these painful truths, but this avoidance comes at the cost of genuine personal growth and emotional maturity. Berne suggests that the ultimate goal of understanding these games is to transcend them. He introduces the concept of autonomy, which involves breaking free from the need to play games and instead engaging in straightforward, authentic communication. Autonomy is characterized by three key components: awareness, spontaneity, and intimacy. Awareness involves seeing things as they are without the distortions of past experiences or unconscious biases. Spontaneity refers to the ability to respond in the moment, free from the scripts imposed by these games. Intimacy is the capacity to connect with others on a deep, honest level, unencumbered by hidden agendas or manipulative tactics. Breaking free from these games requires a conscious effort to recognize and interrupt these patterns as they occur. It involves a willingness to confront and understand the underlying needs that drive the games. For some, this might mean seeking therapy or engaging in self-reflection to uncover the root causes of their behavior. Furthermore, in relationships, moving beyond games can lead to healthier, more fulfilling interactions. When both parties are committed to authenticity and mutual respect, they can create an environment where honest dialogue replaces manipulation, and genuine support supplants hidden agendas. In this segment, we've explored the detrimental impact of psychological games on relationships and personal growth. In the upcoming part, we'll delve into Berne's suggestions for achieving autonomy and breaking the cycle of games, thus fostering healthier interactions and personal development. Achieving autonomy and breaking the cycle of games. In this segment, we will explore Eric Berne's guidance on achieving autonomy and breaking free from the cycle of psychological games, a process that is both challenging and rewarding. Berne emphasizes that autonomy, characterized by awareness, spontaneity, and intimacy, is essential for healthier interactions and personal fulfillment. Awareness is the first step toward autonomy. It involves becoming conscious of the games we play and the underlying scripts that drive these behaviors. Scripts are patterns of behavior learned in childhood and reinforced over time. They dictate how we perceive and respond to situations, often without our explicit awareness. By bringing these scripts to light, we can begin to question their validity and loosen their grip on our interactions. To cultivate awareness, Berne encourages a practice of self-reflection and mindfulness. This can be done by paying attention to recurring patterns in our relationships and noting the emotions and thoughts that accompany these interactions. When we recognize a game as it unfolds, we can make a conscious choice to disengage from it and respond differently. Spontaneity is the next component of autonomy. It involves breaking free from habitual responses and allowing ourselves to react to the present moment with authenticity. Spontaneity doesn't mean acting without thought, rather, it is about responding in a way that is true to our feelings and needs, without the filters imposed by past conditioning or societal expectations. Berne suggests that spontaneity can be cultivated through playful experimentation with different ways of interacting. This might involve trying new approaches in conversations, expressing emotions more openly, or simply allowing oneself to be vulnerable in safe environments. Over time, these small acts of spontaneity can help dismantle the rigid structures of games and foster more genuine connections. Intimacy is the final element of autonomy, representing the ability to connect deeply and authentically with others. Intimacy requires trust, openness, and the courage to be vulnerable. It is the opposite of game playing, as it involves no hidden agendas or manipulative tactics. Instead, intimacy is built on mutual respect and genuine care. To foster intimacy, Berne advises practicing honest communication and active listening. This means sharing our true thoughts and feelings with others while also being receptive to their perspectives. Building intimacy takes time and effort, but the rewards are profound, leading to more meaningful and supportive relationships. Breaking the cycle of games is not an overnight process. It requires commitment and persistence. Berne notes that many people may resist change because games offer a sense of security and familiarity. However, the journey toward autonomy is ultimately liberating, offering a path to richer and more satisfying experiences. In this part, we've discussed Berne's roadmap to achieving autonomy by cultivating awareness, spontaneity, and intimacy. In the next segment, we will explore how these principles can be applied in various aspects of life, from personal growth to professional settings. Applying autonomy in personal and professional life. Having explored the concepts of awareness, spontaneity, and intimacy, we now shift our focus to how these principles can be practically applied in both personal and professional life. Eric Berne's insights offer a powerful framework for transforming our interactions and relationships by moving beyond the games that often dominate them. In personal life, autonomy can significantly enhance the quality of our relationships. When individuals in a relationship commit to engaging authentically rather than through games, they create a foundation of trust and mutual respect. This shift requires both parties to be willing to recognize and abandon the games they have previously played. For instance, in friendships, avoiding games like "Ain't It Awful" can lead to more constructive conversations that focus on solutions rather than complaints. Friends who practice autonomy can support each other in overcoming challenges rather than reinforcing negative patterns. Similarly, in family dynamics, moving beyond games like "If It Weren't For You" can help family members take responsibility for their own actions and choices, fostering healthier and more supportive relationships. In romantic relationships, autonomy is equally transformative. It allows partners to communicate more openly and honestly, addressing issues directly rather than resorting to manipulative games. For example, instead of playing the game, "Frigid Woman," to exert control, a partner can express their feelings and concerns openly, leading to more meaningful dialogue and resolution. In the professional setting, applying autonomy can create a more positive and productive work environment. Office games like "Cops and Robbers," where employees blame management for their shortcomings, can be replaced with a culture of accountability and constructive feedback. When employees and managers engage authentically, they can address issues directly, leading to improved communication and collaboration. Autonomy also encourages a culture of creativity and innovation. When individuals are free to express themselves without fear of judgment or reprisal, they are more likely to contribute unique ideas and solutions. This openness fosters a dynamic and inclusive workplace where everyone feels valued and empowered. Moreover, in leadership roles, practicing autonomy involves leading by example. Leaders who demonstrate awareness, spontaneity, and intimacy in their interactions inspire their teams to do the same. They create an environment where authenticity is valued over gamesmanship, and genuine connections are prioritized over superficial alliances. In both personal and professional life, the journey to autonomy requires ongoing effort and self-awareness. It involves continuously reflecting on one's actions, seeking feedback, and being willing to adapt and grow. The rewards, however, are profound, leading to richer, more meaningful relationships and a deeper sense of fulfillment and purpose. In this segment, we've explored the practical application of autonomy in different areas of life. In the next part, we will delve into Berne's final thoughts on the broader implications of transactional analysis and how embracing autonomy can contribute to a more authentic and connected society. The broader implications of transactional analysis and autonomy. In this final segment of our exploration of games people play, we'll examine Eric Berne's broader vision for transactional analysis and how embracing autonomy can lead to a more authentic and connected society. Berne's work extends beyond individual interactions, offering insights into societal behaviors and cultural patterns. Berne envisioned a world where transactional analysis could be used to foster better understanding and communication among individuals, ultimately contributing to healthier communities and societies. By identifying and interrupting the games that people play, transactional analysis encourages more transparent and authentic interactions, which can reduce conflict and enhance cooperation. In society at large, many social and cultural phenomena can be understood through the lens of games. For example, political rhetoric often involves games where leaders and parties engage in tactics that manipulate public perception, such as good cop, bad cop, or let's you and him fight. Recognizing these patterns can empower citizens to see through manipulations and demand more honest and accountable leadership. In the context of education and social development, transactional analysis can play a significant role in teaching individuals, from a young age, the importance of authentic communication and self-awareness. Schools and communities that incorporate these principles can create environments where children learn to interact in healthier ways, reducing the prevalence of bullying and social exclusion, which are often forms of games played for dominance or attention. On a more philosophical level, Berne's concept of autonomy challenges societal norms that often reward game-playing behaviors, such as competitiveness and manipulation, over authenticity and cooperation. Embracing autonomy can lead to a cultural shift where values like empathy, understanding, and genuine connection are prioritized. Berne's ultimate goal was to help people lead more fulfilling lives by breaking free from the restrictive patterns of games and scripts. He believed that when people achieve autonomy, they can live more fully in the present, make choices that are true to their own values and desires, and build relationships that are based on mutual respect and genuine connection. This shift towards autonomy doesn't just benefit individuals but has the potential to transform society as a whole. When more people operate from a place of awareness, spontaneity, and intimacy, the collective atmosphere becomes one of openness and trust, paving the way for a more cohesive and compassionate world. In this part, we've looked at the broader societal implications of transactional analysis and the pursuit of autonomy. By applying Berne's principles not just personally but also culturally, there is a possibility for significant positive change in how we live and interact with one another. Conclusion and takeaways. As we conclude our detailed exploration of Eric Berne's Games People Play, it's essential to reflect on the profound impact this book has on understanding human interactions and personal growth. Berne's concept of games sheds light on the hidden patterns that often govern our behavior, helping us recognize when we are engaging in manipulative or destructive interactions. The key takeaway from Berne's work is the importance of striving for autonomy, which involves cultivating awareness, spontaneity, and intimacy. Achieving autonomy allows us to break free from the unconscious scripts that drive our games, enabling us to engage in more genuine, fulfilling relationships. Transactional analysis, the framework Berne developed, provides tools for identifying and analyzing the games people play in various contexts. It empowers individuals to step back, observe these patterns, and choose more constructive ways of interacting. This process is not only transformative on a personal level but also has the potential to foster healthier, more transparent communities. As we've seen, applying the principles of transactional analysis can lead to profound changes in both personal and professional life. By becoming more aware of our behavior and the roles we adopt, we can interrupt the cycles of games and build stronger, more authentic connections with others. In closing, Games People Play invites us to look beyond the surface of our interactions and challenge the games we participate in. By embracing autonomy, we open the door to a richer, more honest experience of life, free from the constraints of manipulative behaviors and unspoken rules. Thank you for joining me on this in-depth journey through Berne's influential work. If you found this breakdown insightful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Stay tuned for more book summaries and discussions. Until next time, take care and stay curious.